Welcome back to Mostly Thriving.
Where to the world it looks like we're thriving, but really we're just mostly thriving. All right, welcome back. This is episode number 4.
Today we're going to share about something that happened to us over the last few months that I never shared about on my Instagram. And it was like a big deal in our life.
Yeah, yeehaw. This took us both to our breaking points a couple times, I think.
This event that we're going to describe to you and give you kind of the lowdown, I don't know, there's a lot that I want to unpack, so I don't know where you want to begin.
But first, I want to go touch on a couple things that are going on right now in the world. First of all, Halloween is right here, right now. It's this week.
It's tomorrow.
Guys, we have got to chill with the trunk or treats.
There is a lot of trunk or treats.
There's too many. I was talking about it today at the clinic, and I was like, we need to consolidate trunk or treats. And then I realized what consolidating trunk or treats is.
That's called Halloween?
That's called trick or treating. What happened?
I do understand why trunk or treats are a thing. I think that it's easier for kids. You're not having to lug them out for the whole evening. I also think a trunk or treat can replace trick or treating if your kids are young enough, where it's you go to the one at their school and then you check the box and you're good. You got your candy.
Yeah. Okay.
But it seems like a good advertising thing now for businesses.
I feel like that's what it is. That's all it is that it's advertising for businesses, which being business owners, I totally get. But it goes from being more convenient than trick-or-treating to less convenient than trick-or-treating when you have to go to multiple. Because now I've got multiple nights that I'm trunk-or-treating, and then I'm going to trick-or-treat. It's just too much.
Yeah.
We've got to pump the brakes.
I will say, too, that... So AJ, our 5-year-old, was super excited to get his Halloween costume. He wore it at the trunk or treat that we went to for Jordan. He wore it at the trunk or treat that we went to in our neighborhood. And today in the car on the way home, He said, "Mom, next time can I be a Ninja Turtle?" And I was like, yeah, next Halloween. Not tomorrow Halloween, next week or next year you can. It's just funny. They get sick of their costumes.
No.
I get it. It's becoming too much.
We can't do this.
I'm still pro trunk or treat though. It's fun.
Sorry, trunk or treats.
I didn't know you felt this way.
I know. I kind of hit you with that, but everywhere I go, every church is having a trunk or treat. Every small business is having a trunk or treat.
But don't go.
Every
if you don't wanna
daycare,
go.
every school.
Don't go. I mean, you're going if we're going.
Right. That's the thing. I'm not going to be that dad's sorry, we're not going to Dad, are we going to trunk or treat? No. Soon it'll be a thing of the past. Maybe we'll consolidate and we'll reconvene and just do trick-or-treating like we used to.
That's still a thing.
I know, but gosh, it's just too much. Okay, we started watching this show on Netflix. I do not know what it was called.
How to Rob a Bank.
Seems like an appropriate name for the show about robbing banks. Do you know that I was sitting on the couch with Amanda turning this show on, and thank Jesus that she found this business on Instagram, because I think this woman may have tried to rob a bank if she didn't.
What?
Yeah,
I'm smart enough.
See? That's exactly what I went through last night. She goes, I think I could do this.
I didn't say that. I didn't say that.
Are you saying I'm lying?
I don't remember saying that, but I do think...
This guy walks into the bank and he's just like...
He doesn't hurt anybody.
No.
This feels like this could get me in trouble.
No, it's not going to get you... To be clear, she has not robbed a bank. She is not the guy.
Whose team are you on here?
I'm on your team. I'm just grateful that you found this business rather than the robbing bank business.
If you haven't seen How to Rob a Bank on Netflix, we're only halfway through, so I don't even know how it ends.
It's not one to watch with your kids around.
I will say that it's a documentary, and Scott, the robber, is not in it. So I would say that he probably goes to prison.
Something happened to
Scott, but we don't know. But it's all his friends and his accomplice, and they're telling the story. But also, I don't know where it comes from, this love of watching, adrenaline. I love me a good heist movie. I love, they got the surveillance, and they're breaking into the jewel place and they've got the lasers are going and they got to time it and pick the lock at the right. Like, I eat that stuff up.
But struggles with anxiety. Make it make sense. Also, the guy, I think this is the Robert, lives in a giant treehouse, which
Yeah, we've
also
known that.
coincidentally, you just built a giant
Actually,
treehouse
he
that's
did
livable.
build that treehouse.
Yeah,
I'm
but
not like Scott. Scott also
he-
cooked crystal meth and sold it and had the purest concoction because he was so good at math.
hey, you're still young.
This
Anyways,
is really taking a
sorry.
turn. I didn't know we were
Those-
going down this path, and
those
now
were
I
my-
might be going to prison.
No, you're not going to prison. You're not going to prison.
I want to say this for the record. I did not rob a bank. I've never thought about robbing a bank. I never would rob a bank, but I like to watch stuff about bank robberies. Sue me.
Don't sue us. Let's focus in on the ish that we need to talk about today. We need to fill these people in on a journey we went on.
Yeah, I'm going to call this episode The Bathroom Project from Hell because that's how it felt.
Yeah, this is definitely the definition of mostly thriving.
Yeah, it was like not thriving, honestly.
It didn't feel
It
mostly.
didn't thrive literally at all. So just for a little backstory, we recently had our master bathroom completely renovated. So like full gut. And usually when we do projects, I always say we as if like I have a magical...
Yeah, when she does them.
As if I have a magical helper. Just me. When I'm doing these projects, it never is my space. It's never my master bedroom. It's never my bathroom, my closet. It's always like the living room, the kitchen, the office, the rooms that like guests use.
I feel like this is a mom thing too, because
Yeah.
my mom, when my parents got their house, the first thing they were like, "Oh, this master bathroom is terrible," and they've lived in that house for 25 years and they just got theirs done. I feel like just mom, like that just says you're a good mom.
Oh,
Yeah,
thanks.
You prioritized everybody else.
Yeah, I feel like that is true. In every house we've ever been in, my rooms are the ones that get done last, and then
Yeah.
we move.
Yeah.
And it's like those are the rooms you dream about when you first move in and you never touch them. So we have been living with this 90s ugly like pink tile. And if you're streaming this, so we have audio obviously where you can listen on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, iHeart, all of those platforms. But this would be a good one that if you are listening with audio later, circle back and watch the video on Spotify or YouTube because I'm going to show you guys some pictures throughout this because I got receipts.
Some visual aid.
I got some receipts and I'm going to lay it all out there. And so we decided that our master bathroom, it's a big project. And so instead of me trying to do it and us trying to live in this renovation, it's the only full bath on the main floor. So that makes it difficult too. Like when this bathroom shuts down, like it goes out of commission, it throws like our lifestyle off. And so that's challenging. And so we hired this project out because if you guys didn't know, whenever influencers work with brands, it can happen in a lot of different ways. Sometimes it's, they'll give you product and it's in exchange for certain deliverables, meaning Instagram Reel, maybe they want a story set, that kind of stuff. And so we negotiate that with the brands. Most of the time for me now, they're giving me the product, whether it's tile or cabinets or whatever the product may be that I'm showcasing and creating content for. I also get a flat fee that's like fixed and we've negotiated that ahead of time. So this is an important note about this project because we were on a deadline. Brands work in a way that's like, I don't even know does it have a name for it, where they like budget.
Budget seems appropriate.
They budget per month. So like this came out of their August budget. So this was an August project that we booked in June.
Yeah, so how far, because I don't even know this, how far in advance were you planning this project?
We, I think, started conversations for this project in May.
Okay.
What's interesting, and this is just more behind the scenes stuff that people don't always know, and if it is interesting to you guys, we would love you to leave a comment or whatever. That just kind of helps us gauge where we're headed. But as an influencer, most of these conversations are happening between 1 and 3 months ahead of when you see them on Instagram.
Yeah.
So right now I have things that are booked all the way through February of 2026.
Yeah. No, and I think that's important for people to understand. I mean, you do have your team help you with that, but it is important for this project to say like, get the full scope of it.
Yeah. Okay. So it's June 2025.
Yeah.
Are you there with me? June
I'm there.
2025. We are interviewing some different companies to come out and look at this bathroom because we wanted it done quickly.
Yeah, and so I had two companies that came out to kind of for Amanda to talk to, and one of them my parents had used for their bathroom. The other you had found, and my
They
parents
came recommended.
then everything
Yeah,
came recommended. My
everybody came
parents'
recommended.
bathroom was the one though that we could look at and really with our own eyes say, wow, this company did a great job. And overall, we really liked what they did. It wasn't the same style as the bathroom that we were looking for, but the quality and workmanship was there. So what really blew me away is that despite that connection that they were even aware of, they came out, returned our calls, never even got us an estimate, and completely ghosted us.
Well, they came out. They were very nice. The issue with these types of projects and why it's hard for, I keep saying influencers, but like I would imagine other influencers have this problem too, is that a lot of times when these contractors are bidding jobs, they're marking up the product that you're receiving. So if you're getting tile or whatever, they've got their own percentage that they're taking off the material most of the time. It's probably small. But so in my case, I needed someone that could do the labor and all of the demo, but I was going to be providing all the product. I was getting the tile. I was working with a cabinet company, like a lot of the main things. So there wasn't like material items that they were going to make markup on. So I don't know if that was the reason, but I was also very clear with that when we called them the first time.
Yeah.
Like, don't even waste your time coming out if you're not interested. It's totally fine, but this is the deal. I want someone that can just do the labor. His parents' company came out. They were great. They said, we'll get you like the estimate by Friday. And then I never heard from them again. And then I called and I was like, hey, didn't get my quote yet. And they're like, oh, how weird. He didn't send it over. And I was like, nope, never heard from them. Called again, never heard from them. So on 3 strikes, you're out. So didn't call them back.
I think that's generous.
Yeah, I would agree. But I wanted it to be good, and so I was willing to give them a chance knowing that I had seen your parents' bathroom, everything went really smoothly, whatever. Then, when I compared the prices of what your parents had done, I asked a few other people who had renovations done. The quote that I got for the company that we used seemed very fair. Very reasonable. It seemed like it made sense when you add in, the product value that we would have had. Like that seemed good. He came recommended. I saw a ton of photos, a ton of videos of previous work. He did bathrooms and kitchens, and I gave it the green light. Like, let's do it. He said he could start in July. He said it would be 4 to 5 weeks long. He was hoping sooner. He would bring his whole crew. That was another thing that I had said. I was like, you have to have a crew because I want this done quickly. I'm not trying to just I want people in and out. And he agreed and all was well. He was very nice.
I wonder if this should have been our first red flag, that he was available in July when it was June. All contractors, it seems, when I'm trying to hire anything at the clinic, it's just, no, we can't get to you until, a few months.
It could have been. I don't know.
The red flags are flying throughout
hindsight, yes. But at the time, it just was like, he was kind of like, oh, we're just wrapping up a job. Like, we can squeeze you in before our next one starts. And that sounded good.
And a lot of this stuff we didn't share or you didn't share on Instagram.
Any of it.
Yeah. And some of it was for the purpose of, we're not out here to destroy anybody's business.
No.
Like, that's not the goal of this. At the end of the day, we just needed this project done. Again, going back to the deadline thing. And there was a worry that if we shared some stuff or if it got out or anything like that, that maybe they would just leave.
Yeah, I also, he felt very genuine. And I still am confused by what all went down because we were trying to give him benefit of the doubt the whole time. Like every time something would happen, we were like, well, justify why. But yeah, I didn't share about it in the moment, which is hard for me because everything I share on social media is so real and raw. It was really hard to show the bathroom progress and updates, and it looked like it's all going really well when really behind the scenes, it was literal hell.
Yeah.
added more stress than it would have of me just doing it.
Yeah, I was going to say that, is that I think part of the reason you struggled so much with this rather than me, and I definitely struggled with this. Honestly, the parts that I struggled the most with was seeing you frustrated, and it almost felt like a male taking advantage of this young girl that
100%.
doesn't know what she's doing, was the mentality that he had, which to me is just total BS. It's like when you go into the Home Depot and
Yeah.
they're looking at you, just instantly rolling their eyes, hands on their tool belts, just,
Yeah. Can I help you,
yeah,
little
just
lady?
giving her the eye,
Yeah.
Why don't you fill the people in, though, exactly what, like, the full list of the rundown, or...
The series of unfortunate events that went down.
Yeah.
You're going to notice lots of red flags along the way that we should have picked up on. But you just get to a point where you're just too far in. You got to just continue down the path.
You have no other option.
No other option. They were supposed to start first week of July. And he texted and said that they were running behind at the other job and that they weren't going to be able to start for a couple weeks, which is fine. I understand like deadlines shift and stuff like that. But I was very clear with him that I had a deadline at the end of August. And so I had responded and said, is it possible for you to send at least a couple of your guys? Like, I know your whole team can't start, but could a couple of them come and start demo or something? And he was like, yep, no problem. Like, the dumpster will be there on Monday. Like, everything was smooth sailing. His crew comes and it's 2 guys and they start demoing. All is great. I'm like, this is amazing. They demoed almost the whole bathroom in that first day, maybe first and second day. And I had all the tile ordered. I had the cabinets ordered. I had everything in place. I had the mock-ups, the design, like I had everything, and I had given that to him. So he had like a full packet of, here's exactly what I'm looking for. The tile company that I got tile from had an exact shower that I wanted to replicate.
Yeah, I mean, you gave him direct images.
Yes. I said, I want this.
There's
literally this.
No room for confusion.
Right.
On the things that got confused.
Everything got confused.
Everything. Not a single thing went correctly.
I got receipts, and I'm going to show you them, like the photos and stuff. You will see. It's crazy.
The other thing that is interesting that you haven't told them is that the deadline, yes, contractually with these brands, but my sister's wedding was coming up.
That too.
And we had a house full of company, and so the spare bathroom that we were using to get ready was about to be occupied by a full family. We needed this bathroom, yes, for August, but first week of September, we need it for company coming and staying here.
What I think would be fun to do is, as I start to tell you this series of events, if you hit the moment where you're like, I would have fired them right now, put that in the comment at like, I would have fired them at X point. Because there's so many points that I wanted to fire them, but I couldn't because I didn't have another option. We had to just like full train forward. So as you're listening, be like, okay, pause, comment. I'd have been done right now. I had my team meeting on that first Monday that they were installing the tile. Actually, we should go back even before the tile was installed. I forgot about like the bench, forgot about the drain.
How about the plugs?
Forgot about the plugs. Okay, so demo ends and I go in there and they're like, can you mark everywhere that you want plugs? It's so hard because they knew what I did for work and they knew that I did DIY. So I don't know if I was treated differently than other clients.
I don't think you were.
But I feel like there should be some sort of like education piece when you're the contractor to say like, hey, make sure you think of X, Y, and Z when you're planning for this. They had the blueprint of all the measurements. They had drawn where the cabinets were. We have the 2 sinks. The plugs were right in the middle, and I didn't want that. I didn't like that plug was just like directly there. So I said, I want the plugs on the outsides of the sinks. I don't care where, whatever normal standard height is, like just, I want them outside the sinks. And so they said, okay. Then I come back in later that day and they've got the sinks or they've got the plugs on the wall. And I'm like, isn't that where the sink is? And he was like, well, no, blah, blah, blah. And then like we pull up the blueprint and I'm like, where you guys put the plugs is directly behind like where the faucet would come out. And he was like, well, you said you wanted them to the side. And I'm like, yeah, like to the side of the sinks. Like there was just so many things that were like, maybe I could have communicated clearer, but I don't know how much more you would think even he was like, well, that's where you told me you wanted them. And I'm like, but as the contractor, wouldn't you say like,
Yeah.
ma'am, that doesn't work? Like I wouldn't tell you to put a plug right behind the faucet.
Dummy, electricity and water don't mix.
So then they got upset or like just were annoyed that they had to like move them again. But I'm like, I don't know. It just seemed like miscommunication. That's like what I wrote it off as. That's what this whole thing just kept happening, where I'm like, oh, must have been this, or he must have misunderstood this, or like, I don't know. Then as they're doing the shower, never once was the drain on my radar. It was an existing shower before. He knew that we were adding a steam unit. This all sounds like nothing, but it's gonna full circle back for you of why all this matters. So then TJ comes home and he's like, well, this is a steam unit shower. So like, where are we going to sit? And I was like, oh, he didn't put a bench in there. Like, I didn't even think about that because it was just in the picture and I just assumed.
That was to come still.
That was to come still, yeah. And I just assumed like he hasn't put it in yet. And then I came in and he was like, okay, everything's waterproofed. We're going to start the tile tomorrow. And I'm like, where's the bench? And he's like, well, you didn't tell me you wanted a bench. And I'm like, it was in the picture. I told you, like, it's things like that where I'm like, I didn't say to you, sir, I would like a linear drain put at 5 inches over.
And I'd like a bench here, please, sir.
Like, it's just things where it's like, you're the dude for this.
You build these things. I don't go to the factory where my car's built and go, gee, I think you should put a bolt there.
Right.
Thanks.
Yeah.
The ignition should go by the steering wheel.
Yeah. Could I have a steering wheel, please?
Oh, yeah. 4 tires don't come with all of these? Yeah, give me 4. Like,
yeah, so that was going on with that. He was like, no problem, we'll fix it. He was like super nice. And I'm like, okay, maybe he just forgot. It's fine. Like, I just write it off, trying to be nice. Because he was so kind. Like, I really did believe that he forgot, or like, I don't know. And he apologized and was like, my bad. And I'm like, okay, well, at least he owned it. Like, let's move on. So then I'm working at Starbucks and he sends me a picture and he's like, hey, we got all the tile like started in the shower. Like, look how good it looks. And I'll put a picture on the screen, but our shower has green walls, white floor, white ceiling, which is exactly like the inspiration picture. And he had all of the green wall tiles installed on the ceiling. And I texted him back and I'm like, those aren't the right tiles, ...
If I were in the comments right now, fired.
Fired.
And
he's like, what do you mean? And I'm like, those are the wall tiles. And he's like, well, you didn't tell me that. And I'm like, again, refer to the inspo picture. It's exactly the same.
Which we have text message receipts of, I sent you these pictures.
Yeah, so he was like, okay, no problem. Like, we'll take it down. So it's like, that's all great, but I only ordered enough tile for what we need. And so I told him, I'm like, I'm going to have to order more tile because those are going to break when they come down. So I go on and I order more tile. And every time you order tile, it's like a $300 shipping fee. Like, it ends up being like crazy expensive, but I'm like, whatever, it's fine.
Tile's heavy.
We're just going to go with that. And so then he's like, okay, so it's the 24 inches by 12. Those are what go on the ceiling. And I'm like, yes. Mind you, separately, if you're ever doing a bathroom or a kitchen or anything, tile comes in 2 different sheens. One is polished, where it's very shiny. The other is matte, where it's a little bit more textured. You will always put matte on the floor because it's not slippery, especially with water in a bathroom.
I learned this on this project.
So did our contractor. And then there's polished, which is like for a wall or something pretty that's shiny that you're not going to walk on. If you put polished tile on the ground and it gets wet, you will bust your ass. Like, it will not be good.
Nothing like a warm slip and slide.
A warm slip and slide, yeah. And he's like, okay, no problem. So on the shower wall was supposed to be polished. On the ceiling was supposed to be polished. On the rest of the bathroom floor, matte. We're all in alignment on that. And then I go in there and he's like, the ceiling's done. And I'm looking at it and I'm like, why? There's probably 10 tiles on the ceiling. And I'm like, why are some of them shiny and some of them are matte? And I'm thinking this in my head as he's talking to me. And I'm like, am I going to say something? Like, am I crazy? I'm like looking around. I'm like, is the light funny? And I'm like, sorry, but like, why are some of them shiny? And he's just like, oh, man. And I'm like, what?
Fired.
I'm like, what? And he's like, I think we might have opened one of the mat boxes in the garage. And I'm like, I think you did. And then he looks back. He's like, huh. He's like, those feel so different. How did we not notice that when we were installing it? And I'm like, yeah, I don't know. So then he has to take the ceiling down again. This is the second time this dude has taken the ceiling down. And now I'm out tiles again. So then I go online and I'm like, order more tiles.
Which also don't show up like next
No,
day.
they're 5 to 7 business days. I'm like, we're on a deadline here, bro. Like, we've got to keep moving. Again, I should have, at that moment, fired. But I didn't. And I let him.
On a deadline, though.
I was on a deadline, yes. I let him continue, but I'm like, geez, like, man, every single thing so far has been like, I'm not kidding. Every single step, something was not right. They get all the tile like up in the shower. And then he comes, he's like, I need to talk to you about something. I'm like, okay. And he's like, with your floor tiles, he was like, we're not going to be able to do the tiles like you had in your picture.
Of the shower.
Of the shower. They're too big. He said, in order to do tiles like that, you have to have a linear drain. And I'm
Reference the picture.
I'm like, okay. And he's like, well, we didn't do a linear drain. And I'm like,
done that.
I'm like, okay, so what's the solution here? Like, I don't, you tell me. Like, you're looking at me like I'm supposed to have an answer for you.
Which this solution blows my mind that it was even suggested. And maybe I just don't tile things, and so maybe this was legitimate.
This is not.
His solution was to crack the big tiles that are supposed to be big in singular big whole pieces.
They're giant rectangles. They're
big.
24 inches by 12 inch rectangles. And they're all lined up and they're all symmetrical, and then they go up the wall. So like, that's just what it is. And he was like, we're going to have to put stress cracks going diagonally across your tiles in the back corner, because showers all like kind of slope. They have a pan. And so we have to crack those tiles so that it will slope, because the tiles are too long. They won't like sink down. You'll step on them and they'll break.
Right. And that makes sense to me that would happen. But
if you don't know what a linear drain is, basically when your whole shower is flat and your drain's in the middle and it kind of like just dips down just a little bit so all the water will run to the drain. A linear drain, instead of it being in the middle, the whole floor is slanted just slightly. You wouldn't even feel it by being on it, so that all the water, instead of running to the middle, runs to one side, and there's a long skinny drain like along the bench.
Yep.
But because he didn't do that before he waterproofed and sealed everything and it's cemented in, we were stuck with a center drain. And so I said, like, no, that's not going to work. Like, the whole point of this is these giant, beautiful marble or porcelain tiles. Like, you're not going to crack them. That's so ugly.
And so then he said, okay, I think I have an idea that will work.
Yeah, he said, I'll just lift it up on each side a little bit so that it'll basically all go to the middle and then go to the drain. So I was like, okay, as long as you feel good about it.
And he said he did feel good about it.
He said, yes, we can totally do that.
Shouldn't be a problem.
Every single thing that happened, his thing to me was no problem, no problem, no problem. So I'm like, it feels like we have a lot of problem. I feel bad for him. Like, this is a really crappy project for him. Like, everything's going wrong. Like, how sad. This is so horrible. I'm
sitting silently in the background thinking, this is a disaster. Because I'd come home and every day you would have a new thing that you were telling me. And I was just, what does this guy not do this?
Yeah. And it was things like, I'd be watching and I'm like, that's interesting. And be like, I don't think that's going to work. And then like it wouldn't. And then we'd be in this problem. And then I'm like, well, why didn't I say something? But I didn't want to overstep. It's like, they're the professionals. Like, I don't want to be like.
It felt like if somebody brought their dog into the clinic for the very first time, new puppy, and they said, hey, doc, which vaccine should I give? And I go, well, I'm not really sure, but, what do you think?
Yeah, if you were like, well, you told me that I should have done.
What do you think about rabies? Yeah, parvo, take it or leave it. We'll see what happens. I'll figure it out.
Yeah, it was crazy. And this is where the other red flag started. So he had said that he had this big crew, but on the day that they came, like his guys that were coming early, there was only two of them, and then he would show up. The whole entire project, I never saw anybody else. So that whole like we're not able to start yet thing,
Right.
like where's the other people? I don't get it.
I
Never
he just
saw
didn't want
them.
to work, or he was finishing up a job. He was the
I
other
never
crew.
I never saw the other people, which was just so bizarre to me, but I was like, whatever. I just kept saying like, whatever, I don't know, like
I feel like when you have a deadline in even your own projects, you just keep powering through the things that should make you pause for a second.
are
But
like
you're
giant
just
red flags.
you're just gotta get this done. Gotta get this done. You're a driver and you're very good at that. Not great at pausing, and you have the mindset of I'm gonna fix the stuff that doesn't go right at the end, but I gotta get it done for the deadline. But for this, you weren't in enough control of it, so it just kept snowballing as you went.
Yeah, and I also, because like I know what I'm working on and I know what still needs to be done when I'm doing projects.
Yeah.
For them, I would go in there. It was, I will put pictures on the screen. The sloppiest work I've ever seen in my life.
Terrible.
And I'm not even saying this to be funny. Like literally, I think AJ could have done a better job on some of the tile. The way that it was grouted. First of all, I've grouted so many things. So many different tile applications in different places, different houses. I literally went in the bathroom after he had grouted. This was one of his workers. The grout was all different colors.
Shades of gray.
I don't even understand. Yeah, shades.
We
Different
didn't have
shades of gray.
rainbow grout.
Sorry, no. It was supposed to be the color platinum, which is very close to white. There were spots that looked like as dark as this microphone. Like charcoal dark. And then it would like fade to light and then it would get dark again. I'm like, is this a kaleidoscope? Like, what are we doing here? And he would say like, oh, well, it's not dry yet. And I'm like, even when it's not dry, it does not look like that. It should be like uniform dark and then it all lightens. It shouldn't be literally like Pac-Man going like dark, light, dark. It was crazy. And he just kept saying like, oh, it's not dry yet. And then the next day he would come by and I'm like, it's still looking dark right there. And then he would say to me, it's just grout haze. And I'm like, that's not grout haze. I know what grout haze is. Grout haze is when there's like a cloud on the tile.
See, this is why I did not get involved with the grout discussions, because I don't know what grout haze is. So, but one that I did get involved with was when I came home, and I'm not sure if you had seen it yet, but he wasn't there, but his workers started working on the light fixtures. They started working on the cabinetry and all the hardware that goes on it. And if you haven't figured it out yet, I am not the eye for detail. I am not the one that's going to look at it and go, oh, that's off by an 1/18 of an inch or something. The light fixtures...
16th of an inch.
Oh, I'm sorry. The light fixtures, there's 3 little fixtures or out of one. I don't know how you explain that, but off the wall. Like, it's not even flush to the wall. Also crooked and off to the wall. And I said, they're done? Because I see that.
It was...
I don't see these things.
That's what I'm saying. This is why I was like dumbfounded. Because he's like, lights are done, like give them a look and text me like how it's looking. And I get in there and like TJ said, it's not like they were just like not level by a little bit. It was like, oh, that light's about to fall off the wall.
It was in the act of falling off the wall. If we waited much longer, it may have fallen.
Yeah, so most of these things were done by this worker that he had there. And in the midst of all this, again, me like, oh, the poor man, his appendix bursts or
The main guy.
the owner, the main guy.
Which I heard him complaining about his stomach hurting and the severity of it. And there were some jokes between him and the other workers. Oh, it's the coffee. Ha ha ha. And he was just like, no, this is not the coffee. This is, and I'm hearing this grown man like grimacing in pain. And my closet is on the other side of the bathroom. And so I can hear all this. And I'm going to myself, boy, I wonder if his appendix might be rupturing.
But TJ was like, oh well.
Not my circus, not my monkeys.
And then later he tells me this. He's like, I think he's having an appendix issue or something. He tells me that later that night. And then the next day he texts me and he's like, I'm in the ER for my appendix. And
Boom
I'm
goes
like,
the dynamite.
God.
Not that I was wishing it on him, obviously.
No,
Obviously.
it was just
I would
the
not
timing
wish
of
that.
it. He was like, I'm not going to go in there. I said to him, I'm like, you should say something to him. He's like, I'm not going to go in there and say like, did your tummy hurt?
Yeah.
Like, I'm not going to
Your
do that.
tum-tum hurting you?
But anyways, so now the main guy who's like the ringleader of this all, he's not there for like a week. And so I'm just stuck with these other two people who are the ones that are hanging crooked light fixtures and putting grout haze,
Just on the job training these guys.
It
You and
was
Lisa
so-
were babysitters.
It was so bad. My Lisa, who's on my Come Stay a While team, she was here and she had to help me babysit them. We had to go in there like every hour on the hour and be like, what you doing? Oh, are you going to wipe that off right there? Like, he hung the mirrors and Lisa called me in there and she was like, look at the mirrors. And I'm like, that one's higher than that one. And then the guy comes in and he's like, it's only a TJ 18th of an inch. And I'm like, that's like a half an inch. And he's like, no, I just measured it. And I'm like, well, let me see your measuring tape.
Because then he said it was a 16th.
Yeah, he said it was 16th of an inch. He was like, oh my gosh, how can you even notice that? Whatever. And I get the tape measure out. It was a half an inch difference. That's a big difference when you hang two mirrors. That is like so obvious. And so I'm literally up on the counter. He's standing there and I'm like, I'm the client. And I'm literally up on this counter with my drill trying to fix these mirrors because it's a full tile wall. You can't just put another hole in the wall and patch it. Like, it doesn't work like that. And so I go up there and I take the mirror off and the anchor is like hanging out of the wall. And these are heavy mirrors. And I'm like, that anchor's not in there very good. And he gets up there and he's like, oh yeah, you could hang on this thing. And I'm like, pull it out. He was like, no, it's in there. I'm like, pull it out. And he literally, no effort at all, just pulled the anchor right out of the wall. I'm like, that would have been my $500 mirror crashing on my bathroom, maybe hurting my children.
Can you imagine the middle of the night? It would be the night that they say they're done.
That's what would have happened.
And we would have heard just this crash.
Oh, I would have been so mad.
I would have been calling that guy
I would have been so mad. So all this is happening. Then we're like mid-August. And I'm asking him like, okay, where are we at on this timeline? We're getting pretty close to my August deadline. The brand is now emailing me. How's it going? And I'm like, it's going great. Like, everything's perfect. Which is so stressful because I'm like, this whole thing looks so bad. And the grout, oh, there's so many things about this bathroom that were so bad. So when the grout coloring was off, I told him, I'm like, you got to do something. This can't work. They had to scrape all the grout out of all the little cracks and crevices. He's like, he's going to redo the grout. He redoes the grout. It's still kaleidoscope gray. Like, I don't understand how this is happening. I had to send him a picture of a product to go buy at Home Depot that's like a grout recolorer. He was like, oh, I've never heard of this before. I'm like, yeah, well, get to know it.
Yeah, gonna have to be doing this a while longer.
And so also like the grout was all over my new cabinets. We had to like scrape it off of there.
And windows.
The windows, they painted my windows, literally paint all over the tracks, all over the glass. Half of it wasn't even painted. It was so bad. Like, literally my 5-year-old could have looked at it and
The
been like,
drywall on the corners was all smudged.
The drywall was
even.
such a bad mud job. Like, literally every single piece of the bathroom, everything that they touched was horrible.
Yeah.
It was just horrible.
So then fast forward a little bit. We get to the part that we were pretty excited about heated floors. This was a big thing for us, and we were super excited to finally try them. And he's putting the tile down on the floor, and he's telling us the whole way, I've tested the heated floors. They're working. I've tested the heated floors. They're working, which is weird when you look back on it. Why are you reassuring me that you are testing the floors? Just thinking about that actually right now.
Well, they had some issues with the electrical. Had some issues. I don't know. And so he was telling me, like, it's working. We're doing good. It's working. We're doing good. You're happy, right? It's going good. We're
Felt
working.
like he was building us up for the letdown.
Yeah. And so they lay all the tile down. I watched them do all this stuff. It's all good. They get to the very end.
The last tile. Dun, dun,
There's no power to the electric floors.
Which is interesting when you think about that. There's no power. Why was there not power?
They think
you should have had power before you even did anything. If it was working the whole way, where did the power go?
He told me that one of the wires got pinched.
I'm no electrician, but how does the power disappear?
Where's the power?
Where did it go? Where?
I don't know, but he's like, I hate to tell you this, but we're going to have to bust up your floors and redo them. And I was like, what? I was like, we don't have time for that. I have a deadline in 2 weeks and you have to be done with this, and we're nowhere near done. And so we agreed that we were going to be out of town going to Mexico in October. And we were like, you're going to have to just proceed as if the floors are working, because this has to be done. I have video and footage. All this stuff is due for this project. Like, there is no, I'm going to have to pretend that the floors are warm. Like, I don't know what I'm going to do. And so he's like, okay, he agrees. He's going to come back in October and fix the floors. So here I go on the website again. We need new tile for the floors. Buy that. It's
fourth time ordering tiles at this point.
Yeah. So those get shipped. And then he installs the steam unit. They shut our water off. First of all, they didn't even tell us that they were going to shut the water off. I was in the shower after working on the treehouse. When they turned the water off, I was mid shampoo. Like, can't you give people a heads up? That was even before any of this started. That should have been another red flag that I'm just now remembering.
Yep.
We also had, somehow they turned off our filtration system to the house and all of our iron system and all that. So the water was like brown coming out. Like when we'd fill the bathtub with the kids, and he was like, you're on well water. It just takes a couple days for that to flush out.
We called the well guy. We're like having him come out.
Yeah. And he did come out, and he was like, oh, they didn't turn back on the filtration system or whatever.
Basically, they were bypassing the filtration system the whole time.
Yeah, so for like a week, we were just getting straight water from the well with no filtration.
Which, again, first world problems. Extremely high in iron.
Yeah.
Stains everything. Like, just not ideal.
Not good. Not ideal. Yeah. He installs the steam unit, and then he's like, can I talk to you for a second? And I'm like,
no,
what?
You can't. Because whenever you talk to me, nothing good happens.
He says, so we have an issue with the steam unit. And I'm like, do we? Do tell. As if I could have not predicted this. And he's like, for some reason, we're getting some sort of error code on the valve downstairs. I'm not sure. And he just looks at me like, so that's that. And I'm like, okay, what are you going to do about it? Like, he kept doing that. He would tell me the problem, and then he'd just stare at me like I have the answer.
Well, you did have the fix for everything that they messed up.
I did, actually.
Yeah.
But, so he's like, we're going to come back out. We got to replace this valve. I'm waiting for the part, blah, blah, blah. Then he comes back. He puts the part on. He says to me, I wasn't home that whole day. I avoided the house like the plague, because I was like, I cannot go in here. I cannot go in here. And it's stressing me out so bad. It looks so awful. I keep having to point out things, which I hate doing. I hate critiquing people. And I didn't want him to feel bad, but I'm like, at this point, it's like, I'm paying, $30,000. Like, this is crazy. Yeah. And so he's like, the steam unit's working. Everything is good. Your faucets are installed. Everything is good to go. Like, we can come back and do our touch-up works, but everything, the bathroom is functional. You guys are good to shower. And I said, okay. And I was like, I don't remember you guys sealing the shower. Did you do that? And he was like, we forgot.
Sealing the grout. Is that
sealing it?
Yeah.
Yeah. So whenever
you
have tile that's going to be wet, You want to seal it, which like kind of does like a clear coat, whatever, to like protect it so that it can't grow mold. It can't discolor. It prolongs the life of the tile and the grout. It doesn't wear away with the water. All of these
So
things. It's 100% necessary and it has to be done.
For us non-tiler grouters, bathroom redoers, this is a normal process. Like, close the chapter of the remodel, you seal.
Very normal, especially when you have porcelain.
Okay.
Because it's a very porous tile, hence porcelain.
Now that you've
absorb.
explained that process to me, it seems very obvious.
It was very obvious, and they did not do it. Which we, at this point, were getting like right up to when his sister was getting married and people were coming, and we needed to be able to use our shower. Once you seal a shower, it's 72 hours.
Well, so he says everything's good. He says everything's good. Yeah. And I am thrilled because, one, I love steams. Two, I love our bathroom. I want to be back in our master bathroom. I bring everything downstairs to our master bathroom, and I'm going to take
the first shower.
And I'm going to use the steam. I hit the steam, error code, pressure issue. We ChatGPT'd it, tried to fix it ourselves, can't. Surely I should take a shower, and that should be allowed.
Good luck.
I turn the shower handle, and water comes out of every option except the shower head.
You know the thread of the screw, like where you go to tighten the faucet to put it on?
Yes.
That's where the water was coming out of.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it wasn't even making it to the shower head. It was coming out of, like, the pipe. So this is where TJ...
We have two shower
lost
heads.
his marbles.
I said, well...
Surely the other one.
Amanda's given him the benefit of the doubt 700 times. I'll give it to him once. I go and I turn the other one on. Same thing. Now I'm involved. I was so upset because I had been sitting there the whole time thinking, this man is taking advantage of my wife and it's driving me nuts. This man is taking advantage of my wife. It's driving me nuts. She calls him and she is kind of still letting him give the runaround of, I'm going to fix it. Oh, I'm going to make this right. Oh, and then hangs up the phone. And this is Saturday night. The wedding is next weekend. My brother is coming into town Thursday. Also, at that point, it needed to be sealed still. Because he came back and did the sealing thing on Monday. So the very first day, if everything went right, was going to be, I could use the shower the day my brother got there.
Also, mind you, his sister got married September 13th. So
Yes.
we surpassed the deadline that I had given him.
By approximately a half a month.
Yeah. There's so much, because we didn't even talk about how he went on a trip.
Right. Oh, yeah. He went to Italy in the middle of all this.
He told me like 2 days before. This was when I started to say like the mid-August thing. He was like, so we have a problem. I didn't mention this because I thought we would be done by now, but we're not. But I'm actually going on a 15-day European vacation. And I was like, what? I was like, it's August 15th. You have to be done with my project by the 29th. Thankfully, the brand was so accommodating.
I'm gonna reel you back to the phone call.
Yeah, phone call.
She hangs up the phone. He'll be here on Monday. It's Saturday. I'm not accepting of that. I said, give me the phone. I'm calling him. I then get on the phone with him, and we have a warm conversation. By the end of that conversation, saying, I'm on my way to your house. It's now 8 p.m. on a Saturday to fix the things. On my warm phone call with him, he said, TJ, what would you like me to do? Well, how can I make this better? I said, make one thing in this bathroom work. One.
Yeah, I was like, so far, we hired you to do a bathroom that you can't take a shower in. You can't take a steam in. Doesn't have heated floors. Like all these extra things that we paid for, the least you can do is have a shower that turns on and has water come out.
The only functional thing was the toilet, which all they had to do was pick it up, move it, tile, put down. Same toilet.
So he comes over.
I said to him on the phone, I said, it seems like nobody put plumber's tape, again, veterinarian here, telling the contractor how to do plumbing. Nobody used plumber's tape on the threads of the shower head. He assured me on the phone, no, we definitely use that. I saw it. So I'm kind of like sneaking around the corner, watching him take these shower heads off. No plumber's tape.
You also asked him on the phone, did you guys even test these shower heads? And he said, no. I'm like, you installed a shower head and then didn't turn it on? Like, what kind of psychopath behavior is that?
And I said to him...
That's like not picking up a drill and not going like, zoom, zoom.
But I also told him, I said, after everything that's happened in this bathroom, even if that isn't routine to turn the shower heads on, in this one, I would have turned all the things that had an on-off button, I would have turned it on and used it myself before I said it was done. I would say you should do that in all the bathrooms that you do. But for sure, this one, the bathroom from hell, definitely.
And he's in the house and he's checking stuff and it's a valve and I think I know everything was, I think I know what it is. I think I know what it is. And TJ goes out to his car. He's like throwing trash away or something. And his wife was in the car.
Not my wife.
No, sorry. The guy's wife was in the car. She had like rode over. And she pulls TJ aside and she's like, can I talk to you for a second? And she's like, I just want you to know that I heard your conversation and that I am on your side.
She said, you are 100% correct. She said, oh, I've been telling him to fire guy X for 5 years.
She even said, we have work that our company does for executives at the company that she works for. And she was like, we don't even let employee X and employee Y do those jobs. And I'm like, then why are they on my job?
Yeah.
I'm like, I'm so glad you're admitting all this to me, though. Thank you.
We have this long conversation with her. They're going to make it right. They're going to do all these things. And so he did get the shower working. He said when he left that the steam was going to work. It did not.
But guess what, you guys? First shower in there, turn it on. Guess what doesn't happen? The draining system that he said was going to work literally was standing in like an inch of water. The whole shower. I'm like, this is crazy. Like now the shower works, but the floor doesn't drain. Like this is unacceptable. Claim that he told me that it may not work and that I told him to proceed, which I would have never in a million years done. And so I told him, when you guys come back, when we're in Mexico and you bust up the floors and fix them, you have to bust up the shower floor and fix it.
Yeah. I mean,
Like,
it didn't drain.
You have to fix it. And he was like, well, it's all cemented in. We can't do that. So I was like, well, I'm going to have to pick out a different tile then, which really frustrated me because I had a specific design that I wanted for that bathroom. And now it's a different floor, which is like not what I picked out originally.
We went to Cancun, we had a great trip. I had some great conversations with some awesome people, which we'll probably talk more about on fun. This not this episode, but future podcasts. But while we were there, he did come back, busted up all the floors, busted up the tile floor in the shower, put down the new tile, which I'm fine with. You obviously don't like it. You're definitely more into the aesthetics.
I'll show you pictures. You can be your own judge. I don't think it looks good.
I will say I can see that it is not what you were aiming for. That's for sure. But it's okay.
Some of the tiles are crooked.
I would say
I will put a picture up. You tell me if you agree with me or TJ. It's a horrible tile job.
So we get it all straightened out, and then it comes to payment time. He sends Amanda the bill and basically has us paying for
all the tile
that had to be replaced because of their mess ups. And now I'm again hot because I feel like he's just going to I'll get this little girl to pay whatever I tell her to. And so I call him and I said, hold on. He said, what do you want me to do? I said, you should pay for all of the tiles. He said, I'll pay for all of them except for the shower. Well, that was like the most expensive reorder because we had to go to a different, more expensive tile because he messed up all the other tiles and messed up the option for us using those tiles. He said, well, that's a more expensive tile. I wouldn't have done that. I said, we didn't want to do that.
Right.
You made us do that. And so I'm going back and forth on this, and Amanda is next to me, and I'm sitting on the edge of our bed. Amanda is next to me listening to the conversation. Something overcame this woman. She doesn't even know that she did this to me, and I don't even know if I've told you this. You hit me with the palm of your hand in the middle of my chest, right here.
I did.
Right there.
What?
And it pushed me backwards. I felt like I was like a character, I don't know, in like
Why
Lord
did
of the
I hit
Rings
you?
or something. Beats me. You pushed me back and took the phone and went into another dimension. So much so that the guy on the end of the phone that was arguing man to man, chest to chest with me, said to Amanda, "You're right. I will pay for the tiles." That was it.
I had enough.
We cut the check.
Also,
we paid
you guys, he said to TJ when we were explaining all the things that were wrong, he said, "Nobody died, TJ. You're acting like somebody died." But yeah, I don't know what came over me. I blacked out. I don't even know what I said.
You nailed it.
I definitely didn't know I hate you.
You nailed it. I'm getting like the chills thinking about it. Little scared
good,
right
you'd be
here in my own
scared.
house.
I will not name what the company is. I'm not trying to bring anybody down. I just felt like I could finally get this off my chest because I wanted to share about this. I was literally like crying about this
Several times.
and then had to go on my stories to like
Bathroom's great.
to keep it going. Like
Yeah.
I had to keep the project moving. So it just was so, it was so overwhelming. It was so much.
So we have, I sat down and I was just like reviewing this to myself, and I always try to take like my takeaways.
Right.
And obviously you get what you pay for. And could we have paid a little bit more and this been better? I'm not really sure. But my takeaway is don't rush. Even we had contracts. I understand how we got where we got.
But
we
I didn't
rushed
really
to this
rush.
guy.
Like I had referrals.
Babe.
I saw photos.
Yeah, but
I saw videos.
people plan these kind of projects for a year.
No.
Or longer. Oh, for sure. People don't just sit down one June night and go, "I'd like a bathroom done by end of August."
Do.
I don't think they do. Comments. Hit her with the comments.
No, you're wrong. I think that, I mean, financially and all that, yes, we had been planning.
Yes,
but when you're
I'm
ready
just
to
saying,
like make it happen, you call someone and you say, "Hi, can you come out and give me a quote?" And then they say,
tell me if I'm wrong.
"Hi, yes, here's your quote." And then you say, "Okay, when is as soon as you can start?" And they say, "Okay," and you say, "Okay."
Yeah, I think that's a red flag. If you go, it's June, can you start in July? That's scary. That's scary for me. That's what I'm
Whatever.
walking away with. And everything, above everything, do everything with integrity and honesty. Because now when we look back on it, our honest opinion is that man did not know what he was doing. When you're, spoiler, her dad fixed the heated floors.
Oh, we didn't even say that.
We didn't even say that. Her dad came over and fixed the heated
No,
floors.
this is a huge part that we didn't even talk about. It was all done. We paid him.
Yeah.
He said, "The floors are working, like the thermostat's reading. It takes 2 hours to warm up." You guys, they never warmed up. Ever.
We walked into that bathroom so many times barefoot, trying to like
We're like,
convince
"Can you feel
ourselves,
it?
oh yeah, it's
Can you
warmer.
feel it? No, it was not warmer at
It
all.
was just our body temperature.
And then my
warming the
dad
floors.
came in and he was like, "Let me look at how the wiring is, whatever." And thank God he was able to fix it. And the guy doesn't even know. He doesn't even know that they didn't work.
No.
I never told
there's
him.
no benefit in telling him, honestly, because I think it goes back to that honesty and integrity, is that I don't think he was honest with himself. There was so many excuses. There's no way that he honestly thought, I did a good job here, or knew what I was doing.
He said that he felt proud of it.
I know that, but I think if you tell yourself a lie enough, and if you're dishonest with yourself enough, you start believing your own lies. And that's a dangerous way to live and a dangerous way to do business and run your life.
Agree.
That's
Okay.
episode 4.
Let us know in the comments what you think. If you would given the benefit of the doubt, what you would have done, when you would have fired.
Yeah, where
Love
were
to
you?
know.
Where were you cutting the cord? Also in the comments, some topic ideas. Are these
Yeah.
good? Like, are you guys enjoying this? We definitely have some good numbers in the streams and downloads and all that stuff, but ultimately, we just love talking to each other, and we could pretty much talk about anything.
Yeah, we're pretty open books, so whatever you want to
Yeah.
know about. I know we want to get into like NBA days when I was dancing for the Pistons and he was on the flight crew. We want to talk about that and what it really looks
Yeah,
like
how we met.
to even be in that world, business things, influencer life, all of it. But we don't know if you don't tell us. So drop a comment down below and let us know. And then also follow along at Mostly Thriving Podcast on Instagram and TikTok, YouTube. And then we'll see you next time. Happy Halloween.
Cool. Happy Halloween, guys.
Peace out.